There's this quiet pressure that follows me around. This feeling that if I'm not making something, finishing something, moving something forward, the day was wasted. I don't think that's true anymore. And I want to talk about why. We often act as if we're sent to this earth specifically to accomplish a set of tasks. We look at our lives like a resume that needs constant polishing. But for me, I feel like we weren't born to just be a success by society's standards. Think about the way we judge our lives. We use this cold industrial metrics: efficiency, growth, consistency. But those are the standards of a machine, not a human. For a long time, I lived by those rules. I thought that if I wasn't winning or reaching a new milestone, I wasn't worth it. My life only started to feel like it truly belonged to me when I realized that the standards I was using wasn't even mine. It was a borrowed standards, someone else's, or society's. We're taught that doing is the only way to consume your time worthy. But real life happens when we shift our perspective. We aren't here to just produce until we burn out. We're here to find the criteria for our own happiness. This doesn't mean we should spend our lives avoiding responsibility or ignoring the future. It just means shifting the center of our universe. Instead of asking, was I productive today? Try asking, did my heart feel okay today? Forcing productivity could be the fastest way to invite a burnout that can take months or even years to heal. I've spoken before about how I embrace my low seasons and how I navigate the feeling of failure. So if you're in a space right now where you feel behind, I really encourage you to watch that video. But today, I just want you to hear this. Rest isn't a reward you earn after you're exhausted. It is the foundation that makes living possible. You don't owe the world a productive version of yourself every single day. And this perspective shift makes life easier so much more. There is a common belief that we can and should force ourselves to be on all the time. But the truth is, humans have seasons, just like the earth. There are times to be active and vibrant, and there are times when we simply need to lie to regain our strength. We have our ups and downs in life. When we try to force productivity through a season of exhaustion, it's difficult to create anything of value. You could just waste your energy. It's like trying to run a car on an empty tank. You might get a few more feet, but the damage you do to the engine is far more expensive than the distance you gained. My third lesson definitely helped me a lot to be less forcing myself and lose my pressure. There is a strange myth that being productive guarantees a good result. But we aren't robots. A robot produces a constant, calculated output every single time. But a robot also can feel the nuance of memory or the warmth. As humans, I believe our best work doesn't come from strict schedule. It comes from our ability to be present. When we create from a place of joy rather than a place of should, the work gains a soul. Because we're human, our work is inherently uncertain. I don't always know if our works will turn out right, but there is so much beauty in that uncertainty. It's the proof that we are alive and exploring. A perfect, productive path usually leads to something mechanical and safe. It's the moment where we wonder, where we play, and where we allow ourselves to be inefficient, that the most sincere and moving art is born. We fall in love with art because of humans' heartbeat behind it, not because it was finished on time. I'll be very honest with you about the drawing I'm working on right now. I picked up my pen today with a very specific, productive goal in my mind. I thought that I need to make good art today. I need to prove myself that I'm working hard. And well, the art stopped working. My hand felt heavy, my creativity felt stiff and forced. I was trying to manufacture warmth, but you cannot manufacture something that has to be felt. I was so focused on my productivity of the moment that I became disconnected from my art and my real emotion. The drawing only started to breathe when I gave up on being productive. I told myself I'm just going to do whatever I can manage, even if it's just a few messy lines. I moved away from the goal and back into the sensation of the pen on the screen. My goal as an artist is to provide a warm hug to anyone who sees my work. But I've learned the hard way that I cannot give you that feeling if I'm stiff with stress. Once I found my own sense of ease and allowed myself the grace to be slow, the warmth naturally returns to the art. The result didn't come from my productivity. It came from me allowing some space for myself. This mindset shift has changed everything for me. It's given me something much more precious than efficiency. It's giving me leisure. We cannot always be perfect. We cannot always be on. And that's okay. When I accepted my own limitations, the the tension in my life began to dissolve. I realized that I have a choice. I can live in a state of constant stress, or I can choose the path of ease. I'm learning to choose what is actually beneficial for me, rather than what looks impressive to others. It's about prioritizing my own peace. It's about choosing grace over the grind. If one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that it is okay to protect yourself. It is okay to cherish yourself. You don't have to apologize for needing a slow day. You don't have to justify your rest. Reclaiming your joy from a world that wants to turn it into a task is the most beautiful thing that you can do for your soul. Protect your energy, prioritize your peace, and choose yourself. We need to stop looking at other standards to measure our worth. Instead, let's learn to cherish ourselves. I'm not just making a good art today, I'm making a choice to be kind to myself. And I hope, as you watch this, you feel the permission to do the same. Reclaiming your time and your joy isn't selfish. It's how you survive in a world that never wants you to stop. So, what happens when we stop counting our output? We start counting our moments. And I want to be honest with you, this mindset has been a huge help for me personally. For a long time, I was my own harshest critic. I thought that by being hard on myself, I was motivating myself. But all I was doing was creating a life full of tension. Adopting this new perspective has given me something much more valuable than a finished to-do list. It has given me space to breathe. We have to accept the simple truth that we cannot always be productive. We cannot always be perfect. When we stop demanding the impossible from our lives, the constant stress in our shoulders begin to loosen. Your worth doesn't decide by your productivity. It cannot be increased by your achievements, and it cannot be changed by your mistakes. You're whole right here, right now. Thank you for spending this slow, intentional time with me. It's been a gift to share this space with you. Before you leave today, I want to ask, what is one thing you can do unproductively kind to yourself this week? Maybe it's a long walk, a nap without a guilt, or drawing something that no one will ever see. Be gentle with your heart, stay soft, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!